right or wrong. Yeah, that's right. Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? I hope you can hear me, because I can hear me, and you should be able to hear me too. Matter of fact, let's see. Cool. Yeah, that's right. You can hear me. All right, so with that said, all right, we talk about Black Light, all right? But I'm not by myself. I'm joined. I want you to know this guy right here. He comes well recommended by the rogue scholars, all right, from the times of old. He's also come recommended, all right, by the Nobel Peace Prize voters, all right? He's come well recommended from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. I present to you Clement Bryant. uh, chilling. Kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep my head up, man. Trying to keep my head up.
Man.
Keep my head up. Still learning. Still shining. Still living it up.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess we should say to the viewer, sorry for we missed a week, but like, bro, last week I was just dog tired, man. Like literally, man. I don't know what it was, but like around 7 o'clock, man, I just crashed. Around 7 o'clock last week, every day, man. I was just crashing. I don't know what it was, and also
it was over for you.
Yeah, and my shoulder started. My shoulder started acting up last week. I like the shoulder. I wasn't able to lift my arm like this.
That's
doing
because you out there fighting crime, making the world a better place for us. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
making it better for us.
I mean, you could say that in a way.
In a way.
No, you know what I work on, but yeah, like it just. I don't know what was happening. The shoulder, man, I wasn't able to lift it like this last week. Started hurting. Doing it like this,
dang.
Dude, my whole right side of my body was just like SOL, like just like gone.
My whole right side. Oh, it was
like I woke up. What was it? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday last week, man? I woke up.
It must have been Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah, it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. I woke up. The space behind my knee, it couldn't have been my knee.
Wow.
Like I woke up, man. Like my obliques right here on the side just couldn't move, man. I was in pain last week, and I had no idea what was happening. It was bad, bro. It was bad.
See, that's why it's a good thing we're here to talk about Black Lightning, which I will be semi-positive on, because I know I was rough. I will be semi-positive.
Rough?
I will be semi-positive on. I'll say this. I'm going to revert back to my statement about the episode 9, I think. Let me make sure I know the exact episode before I quote it. It was the episode after Painkiller. Sorry, episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
Watching this further cements my opinion that episode 8 should have been the season premiere. Episode 8 sets up so much stuff that we have to try to deal with in 4 episodes. Well, of course, now 4 episodes. Technically, you had 8, 9, and now 10, 11. So the first half of the season, we could get rid of that and just either A, have a short season, or B, have a reframed season from 8 to now. Because I will say, from 8 to now, even though it's still been cheesy stuff, and there's still cons that I'm going to talk about, it's way better 8 through 11 is still much better than 1 through 7. I like the addition. I like the way Painkiller is in these episodes than he was in his own episode. And maybe it's because, the cheap CGI or whatever. But I like the fact that him and TC got a thing, and he's like, "Yo, I'm handling stuff over here, helping y'all." So we could reframe. We could have reframed and rewrote these episodes. Like, have this be the first four. All right, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, have these be the first 4 episodes instead of the first 4 that we got that really didn't do much. And then we could have just jumped into a season where it's like, oh snap, Tobias is about to be the mayor. Hold up, what? And then we have to play catch up, just like Jefferson has to play catch up as an audience together. Now, of course, you would have to reframe things and stuff like that, but these episodes have been at least more entertaining than those. I will say the fight scenes have been better. The music has been better. There are cons, but generally, it's been a better show these last 4 episodes than the first 7.
My bad. I wasn't trying to interrupt you, by the way.
No, go ahead.
But I will sort of agree with that sentiment. Like, there seems to be some sort of rekindled energy in these last few episodes.
Yeah.
And I think the addition of it is because I'll compare it to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1 issue, right?
Okay.
The first few episodes, I think, I can't remember, it's late, but it's like, I think it was like maybe episodes 1 to 9 or 10 to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the first 10 episodes were like really like very X-Files case of the week. This case, we move on to the next case. And then once, Winter Soldier was released around that same time frame, and you had the Ward reveal, things changed and the show got really interesting. And
True.
I think we can attribute that to Khalil and Painkiller being back in the show. And also the fact that, like, I know we didn't talk about it last week, but I watched the last week episode, and that scene in the previous episode, not this week's episode, where you saw TC had a thing with Filky, who was played by Alexander Hodge. That was like, that really excited me. I was like, oh, Filky, this is dope. I really like how they're making it very natural and they're bringing him in.
Yes.
So I will attribute that to bringing Khalil back. And I think, at least in this episode, when Khalil went to Jefferson and was like, hey, Mr. P, I got you.
And then instead of having a full episode of Painkiller, we get to learn about him and his team throughout the whole season, because he's been kind of working with us, and we're like, oh, cool. We meet Filky. We see him do his thing on his end. We do, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe have an episode where we're with him for maybe 10 whole minutes. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then you don't have to do a full thing, because the full Painkiller episode pales in comparison to what we've gotten post that with him, TC, him, and that moment with Jefferson Pierce was a good moment, because you realize, oh yeah, they haven't talked really, because he's been Painkiller, so he hasn't talked to Khalil in a season and a half.
It like there was like, I'll say, like, I was watching it this morning when I was making breakfast. I got really emotional some sort of way that when he was like, hey, Mr. P, it's really good to see you. How's Jen? It was like family rekindling after not talking for a couple years.
Yeah, I did like it when I was watching. I was like, man, this is nice. This is what we needed.
It felt good. Like I almost had the like, Khalil's a good dude. He's gonna help Mr. P out. This is really good stuff. It kind of gives me the feelings of the early seasons of Black Lightning, where you knew Khalil was a good guy, you knew what he was about, and he's still that guy, only now he's dealing with Painkiller in his head. He's been dealing with the trauma of having to deal with ASA. So I really liked how they built that into the storyline of this episode. I think this is one of my favorite episodes so far, and we'll get into. Go ahead.
I'll agree. I think these, even though we're covering episode 10 and 11, these two, and 11 more importantly, these episodes are probably the best this season. I like that moment with him, but big shout out to the chat. We got Justin King and Vulcan. Justin, this was so bad that the only good thing about this episode was the song "Whoa," not the fight scene, just the song. All right, now I'll say this: there were two. Well, since we're covering 10-11, Khalil fights against Wu Tang. Shouts out Wu Tang. A Wu for you. Everybody knows the Wu. And then also shouts, unfortunately, to Black Rob with Whoa. The thing that I liked about the Wu Tang fight scene, those I guess they saved their fight choreography to the last episodes because there is a marketed difference
And see,
between the fight scene in there and like the fight scene in episode 2. Even with Black Lightning and Ishmael, the fight scene was much different. Like the choreography was, so I'm like, I guess they tried to pinch pennies to the end. And if that's the case, if you don't have the money, don't do 13 episodes. Just be like, yo, look, check it. Let's trim the fat and just have like 8 hardcore episodes and close out. You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
TV schedules. See, TV scheduling is complicated because you also have advertising. I know. But you
saw advertiser dollars are already promised, and they're already promised placement from last year and blah blah blah. And
last year when they had to move the season and you have to make mega, dude. I deal with this stuff all the time, so it's kind of like I kind of suspected that was the reason why. Even though some of the fight scenes in the earlier part of the season, I liked them, but these ones are a little bit like these were a little bit more, for lack of a better word, lit, right? You brought
they definitely stepped up the game.
Like the Wu-Tang Man, I love how the cue was, Painkiller took off his coat, and then you automatically get into it. And also that felt very Luke Cage. That felt like very Luke Cage, right? Netflix Defenders, because they had Protect Your Neck in. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think
season 2.
It was season 2, episode 10, the Iron Fist team up episode.
Yeah, you might be right on that.
I might be wrong about it. But they have Protecting Their Plan. I was like, oh man, this is. I love that whole fight scene, man. The way they orchestrated it, even like the confident, really vibe of it was really dope. Like it was just boasting, crackling, full of energy. And I like how in this episode they brought it back. They referenced that fight scene at the end of this episode. It was
and
chef's kiss.
Seeing Khalil in this, even this is why this is another reason that's good to have your own people on screen as well as behind the screen.
Yeah.
The little guy, the NERDSoul Light sees Khalil fighting, right? And it's the one where he got his shirt off, right? Little man immediately takes his shirt off and he's like, and I was just like, that's why we need, you know what I'm saying? That's why we need us up on the screen. Because he took his shirt off. He was like, I was like,
and that's probably the kind of stuff that I remember. I think this is the kind of point that I was making on when we had the Falcon and Winter Soldier finale of, it's great to see on-screen diversity and inclusion like we have in Black Lightning. Because I remember being 6-7 years old and watching the OG Power Rangers and seeing Walter Rommel Jones as the Black Power Ranger and having the power axe and just being like, oh, you know what? I can be a Power Ranger. I can handle issues. I can handle problems. And like, I was Power Rangers nerd heavy when I was like 16 years old. I had
Power Rangers still dope with that Battle for the Grid.
I mean, right? Like, and so like when we talk about like Black Lightning, and I think this is one of the things that I'm going to be really kind of upset when the show ends, is kind of like, if the Painkiller spinoff doesn't get picked up the series.
Yeah. If they don't get picked up, that's it.
We'll probably know in a couple weeks because upfronts start soon. Television upfronts start pretty soon.
So if it doesn't get picked up, CW will have All American, and that's it.
Naomi, if it gets picked
Naomi.
up.
Yeah. I have little faith in that, not because of who's working on it, but CW ain't it don't seem like they hearts in it no more.
I mean,
it just don't seem like they care no more.
I think they care. I think it's just they're in a state of growth and they're trying to figure out what is going to work for them. Not what works for them short term may not work for them long term, right? Whereas in fact, like and I don't mean long term in the sense of like 10, 12, 15 years. I mean long term in like 1, 2, 3, 4, hopefully 5 seasons. Getting to even 3 seasons right now in broadcast television, even just the television landscape between streaming, is very hard. So I think they're trying to figure out their state of growth, because we're seeing parts of the Arrowverse die off, and they're canceling. Supergirl's done, Black Lightning's done. You know,
and technically for me, Supergirl was done when it started to be about her sister and not about Supergirl.
I mean,
I was like, why do we care who her girlfriend is? Because she's not Supergirl. Like, I don't care about this melodrama. I want to fight things. Where's Supergirl at?
I mean, but you know, television, right? But like that, I think that's where it's going. So it's like,
they like flying costs money.
I mean, bro, television budgets are not, they're not what they used to be, right? So especially when you have the increased pressure of matching what is on a streaming service quality wise.
Yeah, because on the real, and I'm gonna give the OG streaming show that let me know these streamers got money, and it's not Netflix, CBS. When I saw Star Trek Discovery, I was like, oh, y'all got money. I was like, yo, hold up.
Bro,
I saw the first episode. I was like, hold up, CBS got money. Because this show, look, dude, man, Star Trek Discovery is like, they better not ever cancel that show. Because Picard was, for me, I'm on the fence with Picard. I like seeing the old faces. I like seeing the people come back together.
Yeah.
But I thought we had a much more interesting story about the Federation being essentially infiltrated on like a secret invasion thing, and like we didn't even talk about it. I was like, hold up, are we going to talk about the fact that like, yo, they've been like, so we're just going, that's all we're going to do? So
we can have a deeper
discussion. I was on the fence about it. I'm not mad at it, but I didn't love it.
I feel you. In all my tables, all my cards on the table, I didn't get to finish Picard season 1. I still have to finish it. No spoilers, bro. But
no spoilers.
To bring it back to like, you know, television budgets, and we talk about like something like Black Lightning.
Yeah.
There's no way they could have done a show like Falcon and Winter Soldier or even Defenders on broadcast television. So it's like, when you're dealing with the pressure of trying to match what a streaming service is doing, it is very hard. For example,
especially when they're both considered TV.
I mean, look, I watched Netflix's Shadow and Bone. I finished that maybe a week and a half ago. You cannot tell me that they didn't drop at least. They dropped a pretty penny. It looked like, I'm trying to think of what the scale of it. Well, I wasn't really hip to Shadow and Bone before it.
It seems like they got all of their budget and some of Jupiter's Legacy budget too. Because let me tell you,
I didn't get to watch it. But
save your time.
Back to Black Lightning. I mean, I will say, man, the one thing that I love about Black Lightning that they continue is the music. Yeah. Like, and I think with the Black Rob stuff, I got really emotional with the Black Rob song when Will started playing. I was like, oh man,
that was dope.
It felt like a last minute, like, oh man, we got to pay tribute to Black Rob somehow.
Yeah.
It felt like, and that's why I like Salim, because he brings that flavor that is.
Yeah, it seems like Salim put his name on the first 7 episodes, but really wasn't there. And then ever since episode 9 or 8 or 9, he's actually really there. Because I'm like, hold up, the jump in just narrative quality. There's still stuff that gets on my nerves, which we'll get to in a second, because I saw a comment from Justin King and Vulcan. But in general, these episodes are much more interesting and entertaining, and the plot is moving forward as well. So I'm like, what happened? I feel like maybe Salim said he was there, like he was like, "Yo, put me in the credits," but he won't really do it. Like his assistant was working on it or something. I don't know. But
I mean, I don't want to theorize about it. I think the magic sauce was the fact that they had to hold off on bringing Khalil back. Because
Mm.
ever since Khalil's been back, there's been, like I said, there's a quality to the storytelling and energy that is kind of, I don't want to say missing from the first few episodes, but if you had to compare, I wouldn't, if I didn't know it was the same season, I would be like, these are two different seasons of a show.
Yeah, definitely
Right?
different, a much different quality.
And
And
the tone is lighter. It's like the tone is something reminiscent of the first two seasons of Black Lightning.
okay. Yeah,
Feel me?
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Now on to Justin King, on to talking about one of my cons. Said
Uh-oh.
said if Jeff and Lynn get married but been fighting every single episode this season, I'ma scream. You ain't gonna be the only one. When they all right, so here's my cons for these last two episodes.
You talk about it.
These last two episodes, I'll just say this: manufactured tension. The fight between the fight with the old boyfriend thing was corny. It was corny. It was not necessary. It was not necessary. Look, they've been hating each other all season. This is not necessary. But anyway, whatever. Cool, fine. Then the manufactured thing with Grayson and this, like, dude, it's not necessary. Even though Grace did have a point saying, like, yo, man, look, this life could catch up with us. Like, we ain't guaranteed every time we roll that dice and go out there and fight somebody. So she has a point. The only thing is, you've never had this point ever. You went and fought the Markovians. You went and fought alongside her at the little mayor thing where they shot the old mayor. All this stuff. Now all of a sudden you have this position manufactured, and it's corny to me. Those are two things that I really was like, y'all can't help but try to make something Jeff's fault and make them fight for there's no reason for them to be fighting right now. Like, y'all are just making this happen. But go ahead, my brother.
No, I was gonna talk about it because I love, like, in the last episode, dude, I think his name is Keith, right? Her
I think it's Keith.
Dude came in there like the Kool-Aid man. He did. When he
came in like this was his first role on TV. He was like,
no, it wasn't like that. He was like, boom, I'm here. Like, I was like, who are you? Like,
never heard of him in our lives ever.
Like, and also I'll say it wasn't any like that comment was not like any kind of like racism or anything like that. I just got that, but like it felt he just came in busting through the door. And I was like, yo, who are you? and then
she was like, Jefferson, I didn't tell you. I have to speak. I'm like, the second I saw it, I was like, y'all made this happen. Like, y'all. Come on.
I'm not criticizing it as much as I was just like commenting on especially when Lynn got released from the jail last episode, and you saw that close up on the fact that she touched his right arm. You saw the camera.
That wasn't necessary because they made it seem like she liked him for no reason.
I think she does, though. I think the fact
they've had no contact ever, unless she's been creeping. Has she been listening to the Crazy Sexy Cool album? Come on, man.
But I will say, I think why she did that was because she felt like Jefferson left her out in the cold.
But she could have called Jefferson. She didn't. She called Anissa.
She called it, but maybe that's why she didn't trust.
You had one phone call. You living in this man's house.
Like, you have one house.
Is she paying rent there? All right. Oh, you paying rent? You ain't paying no rent? So, all right, you living up this man's house, getting all kind of married privileges. You ain't married to him. Then you go to jail after pretty much yelling, arguing, spitting in his face, spit flying about how it's his fault when you know he's been set up. Then you go to jail. Your only call you get is to Anissa and not him. Where your respect at? Where your respect? That's
I mean,
supposed to be your husband, your play husband, right? Here's the thing.
well,
If it's always his fault when something goes wrong, that means he has the responsibility. Then why doesn't he have the responsibility to get you out of jail? Is it because you calling your ex-man? Huh? All I'm saying is fair is fair. Because if he let's see how the show would have portrayed this. If he went to jail and called some old fine dime Brizzle up in this joint, talk about we used to went to school. You know. Everybody would have been like, Jeff, you wrong, dog. Why you got this girl around here? They would have been all mad at Jefferson. All right? Look, I ain't having it. No,
I mean, I mean, I mean, but like, like in this episode, you felt the tension between Jeff and okay, I'll go back to the last episode for a minute where Jeff was like, Jeff, Lemon was like, Jeff, he just got me out. Shouldn't you say thank you? He's like, what? I said thank you. What do you want me to say?
To say thank you.
I was like,
what you want me to do?
I was like, that was kind of a low-key fun, also kind of like
posterior. You know what I'm saying?
like what? But you know, I was like, they're introducing a lot of plot.
Yeah,
so few episodes.
That's
so
why this should be. That's why I said they should have cut out the first. When they started writing this down, like when they're at the very beginning, they got their note cards on the. Like, all right, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. This they should have been like, you know what? Technically, this first 7 or 8 episodes, we could skip those and use these as our ground. You know what I'm saying? And slot, but then you would have to do something with China and McClain. You would have to figure that out. You know what? Now that I think about it, the first half of the season was them figuring out how to deal with China leaving. That's what I think the first half of the season was. How can we figure out how to get her off the show in a way that makes narrative sense? Here's how you do it. You do it in between seasons. When we come back, episode 1 is technically episode 8, and you refer to it. And then you have the new actress, and we have all her issues, what she's going through, feeling like she's not lightning, and she is lightning, and we just refer to it. We can always, when China's there, as long as she's still contraction, we shoot all of the flashback scenes we'll need as her. And then we say, China, thank you for your time. We love you. We're glad you did so much for Black Lightning. Peace out. Then we can take those flashbacks, insert them as needed, and we don't need a whole first half of a season that the plot doesn't really even move. But real quick, shouts to Silhouetted Animator for the super chat. Painkiller needs to be picked up for series, if not just for the awesome bad but he is, but so he can finally take down Odell and the Shadow Board. Yeah, there is that whole Odell thing. Odell thing does need to be wrapped up. Or, shoot, HBO Max could say, all right, cool. Let's go in and take some of the subscriber money. Let's go and set it aside and just do a quick Painkiller movie. You know what I'm saying? And this Painkiller movie will cover getting Odell, getting the Shadow Board, the end. You know what I'm saying? And like in this series, sort of with the movie, kind of. And then be like, we ain't get no series. You can get a movie real quick. Maybe
that. I think we should also talk about this episode where they had Looker come back.
Yeah, which I'm on the fence about.
Man, I don't like the vibe of the character because she's a straight up racist. Yeah, but
her whole crew is.
But bro, when they were in Khalil's mind in this episode, and she goes 2 mandingos,
I was like, girl, no, you didn't.
Yo, and the Painkiller was just like, oh hell no. I was like,
Painkiller was like, no, we gonna kill this girl.
Like that, I howled because I was like, oh no, she did it. And like right as soon as I was saying like, no, she did it, Painkiller was just like, oh hell no. I was like, the writing in that scene in particular, was something like so good.
I think there was when I was watching, I think there was a great moment missed with Painkiller when the guy says you brought a knife to a gunfight, and he has his gun, and he shows that he has a gun too. While he was talking, and they were like, "Yeah, we about to fight," he should just be like, "Pop, pop." straight Indiana Jones, and just walked on by. Now I know it's CW, y'all don't want to show bullets and guns, but you know how I feel. Either A, they have guns and they use them, or B, just don't have guns. Because if you have bad guys that have guns in real fake world, those guys would use the best tool you have. All right, the best tool I have to make someone go to sleep forever is a gun in this instance. So they would use the gun just because the dude threw the gun at him. I was like, yo, honestly, something that would have been lighter and kind of fit with Painkiller's vibe, with the whole oh yeah, we gonna fight you straight up. You know, you're not pop, and just walked on through. And it could have been cool in a way where it's like Indiana Jones, where the dude does all the sword stuff, and he's just like pow. And it could have been a cool moment. And instead of the fight scene where the fight scene was better than the first half of the season, but they still did that weird speed up thing where I'm like, is this the 90s? Like, don't speed up the fight like that. Don't do that. So I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
I'm going to disagree with that because I think they used that scene to like remind people that Looker was a racist and her whole crew was. Because also there was some really seriously racial undertones between the interplay between her guys with the scene that you're talking about, where they go, "Who do you think you're talking to, boy?" And you know, if you're from the South, you know, especially.
Well, yeah, he could have shot them after that. He could have still let them get that and then just be like, click.
But like,
because I ain't fighting with him. I'm gonna tell you, if I got what the old school cats would say, if I had really Willie Roscoe with me, and they talking that mess, I ain't trying to fight y'all. I ain't gonna kung fu y'all out. I'm gonna just papa. That's it. I mean, I ain't trying to kung fu y'all down. I mean, it's cool, but let's go in there.
He was also kind of play with him.
Yeah.
But what I was like, oh well, I forgot that. Like,
she was super duper racist.
I mean, when I was like last season, I really didn't pay much attention to Looker, so I was like,
yeah, because she was kind of out after season 2, kind of.
Was it season 2 or 3? I can't try to remember. But like
2. She was kind of out after season 2, I believe. At least after the first half of season 3. Yeah. And then you had the black people that were metas that were kind of like, I guess, their version of the Morlocks, because they were out there on the land minding their business, kind of like not bothering nobody. So, and that's actually a storyline that I really enjoyed, even though they kind of came and went. But bringing her back for her powers, it makes sense. I would really like to see, Jill Scott one more time, especially since they alluded to it. But Jill Scott, maybe she's just scheduling issues, or she might cost too much money. You know what I'm saying? Jill Scott is not, she is not some cheap actress to get. You know what I mean?
But also timing is a thing too, especially when you have you're trying to wrap up the storyline. But yeah, man, I think just on the whole, the storytelling is better. And like, I gotta say, though, when spoiler alert, when what's his name, Uriah got killed, that was kind of sad. I think that was
they just had their little date.
They just had their little date, and TC, like, also TC, man. I know we were talking a couple episodes back. He had something about her with Jen, but kind of he took the L, was like, I'm gonna fall back.
Like, I'm gonna fall back and try to do the noble thing.
And I was like, oh, TC, that's great. But like, I think their relationship has definitely shifted from a sort of will they, won't they kind of vibe to now a brother sister vibe, especially which is a
weird shift within like 2 episodes. Like, it's a weird shift within 2 or 3 episodes, but maybe he was just like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna fall back. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I got my own thing.
It's like, I love how he got off the roof. He was like, your sweater looks like garbage. Like, he said something like that.
Besides, your shirt is whack.
I was like, oh man. I was like, all right, you got to get one jab in to let her know, like, I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna be the white knight or the black knight, and just do it.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
I love that scene. I just think I think the quality is better. Like, I will say a con for me that has me worried as far as like um character wise,
Mhm.
Jefferson revealing his identity to the cop.
That's a huge risk. I'm surprised that worked out for him.
I mean,
I mean, I get why it did, but that was a gamble. 'Cause, I mean,
okay,
he's working with Black Lightning, but just because he's working with him doesn't mean we know exactly how he feels about him. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
that was a risk. I'm glad it played off. But that was a risk.
bro. When that happened, I was like, you see the movie Dodgeball? Like where
Oh.
they said, oh, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. That was in my head the whole time. I know it's a weird reference to make, but when I was watching it, I was like, oh man, why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, especially right now?
I guess he had to put all his cards. I guess he was like, "Yo, look, it's going crazy. I got to put all my cards on the table. My family is in real danger. People ain't got no powers no more. This, then the third. We got to go all out and see what happens." It did work out though. We got a little bit of science from Lynn. She was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, we put this together. Should make the silver, back up and everything." I do like how he drank it, and before she got kicked out, she was like, "I know you did this. Like, I know
And
you did this to me."
the cop was like, that is the strangest mess that I've ever seen. I was like, now you know. Now
Now
you
you
know
see
he
what
is,
I've been trying to tell
now
you.
you see it.
But I'm
Now
glad
you
that the federal agent, when he came to, he didn't do no dumb stuff. He didn't act stupid. He was like, "Yo, thank you so much. I was, like I was controlled." Kind of like Wanda did to all those people that just let her walk off. But
you
anyway,
ain't gonna let
like
that go.
I,
You ain't gonna let that
I
go.
was, yo, they didn't even say anything. They were just like, "All right, peace." Like, I mean, and I know people will be like, "Well, what are they going to do with her power?" That doesn't mean that they can't try to enact a law or like try to shoot at her or something. I mean, these people, like nobody, they were just like peace. But anyway, in his case, he said, "Look, I'm gonna do everything I can to help you, clear her name and everything." And I was like, "That's what's up. That's what's up. You found out the real, and you didn't act stupid." So I thank the writers for not falling into the trope of like seeing something strange happen, but still not believing the protagonist that's telling you that strange things are happening. You know what I'm saying? So I thank them for that. I thank you because you could have did something stupid, but you didn't do something stupid in that case. You let him come through. And he was like, "All right, yo, thank you. I'm gonna try to fix it." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Word up, word up. That's what's up. That is what is happening."
I mean, I just like, I think when I think about this episode, I think there's so much pros to it. Um, and especially now that we have Tobias as officially the mayor,
Yeah, we've
where's
seen the
he gonna
shadow.
go?
We've seen the shadow board or whatever, which they kind of spring on us mad last minute. But I
Oh, I was like, oh great. So now we got the shadow board that I'll call them the blue shadow board because
another random thing added in when there's 2 episodes left.
what is happening? But
Yo,
um yeah, man, I think they're really just starting to ratchet up the, like, for lack of a better word, craziness and just going full throttle with
yeah,
the storyline.
yeah. They're
Uh
going. I
and this
guess
is
they're
what we
throwing everything at you at the end. When when they were outlining this, somebody should have just been like, "Yo, man, we don't even need like the first 7 episodes. Like, skip that." And they would have been like, "Well, what about episode 7? That's the background for Painkillers." Like, no, no, no. Look, we're gonna do the backdoor pilot differently. We're not gonna do a whole episode. We're gonna bring Painkiller in through the whole show, and then like one episode we'll give them half an episode, and the next episode we'll give them like a half an episode, and then out we're interspersed with talking to Gamby or talking to Jefferson or maybe talking to Jen or talking to, we'll figure it out. But a whole episode, like, we don't have the money for the CGI, and it's gonna look stupid, so let's not do it. It's like so now we got the
and
shadow board. Yep. Jesse King said, "F the shadow board. Too many randos popping up." Thank you. I was like, who are these people? I'm watching. Now, this is someone who has seen every episode since the beginning. And when he opened up that box, I was like, what's going on? Then when I was like, hello, how may I help you? Who are you? Then I was like, oh, so we're to believe he's been speaking to these people? And I was like, nope, 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 nope. Because now we got this whole thing where like he wants to be part of some board where they, I guess, apparently have power over him. No, he's been billed to be the top dog the whole time. Maybe Odell above him because Odell got the government. But I mean, he's been billed to be the top dog the whole
maybe what's with the plan though, because Tobias is not okay. There's a scene in the most recent episode where where the chief of police comes and was like, "Hey, I need a way to get rid of the metas," and he straight up gives her the meta ability, the meta gene to give to her police force, right? That said to me that
happened very quickly.
That happened very quickly, and he's going to play a large game. Tobias isn't the kind of guy to just stop at like, okay, I'm the mayor of Freeland. Nah. He's going to be like, he's going to be like, okay, now that I'm a part of the shadow board, I need your location. Yeah. I need.
I want to be the governor or something like that. I got to run this. And all right, peep this.
He might be playing that.
Peep this. If we get rid of the first 7 episodes, then the whole thing with him and the police chief could have been drawn out with the whole, here's the meta gene, because he could have been like, hey, well, what if we could figure out a way to give you guys enhanced powers? And she'd be like, nah. And then they go up against a couple of meta villains, get their butts whooped, and then have her to a point, of course, that he sets up, and then have her to a point where she's like, yo, I need this. And he's like, I got your fix right here, girl. And then, of course, on the back end, use the same tactics that he did, or was it Odell did, that he used with Lynn to get her hooked back on the juice. You know what I'm saying? But now he got the chief hooked on the juice. All right, but we don't get that. We get 5 seconds of like, I'm against this, I'm for this, and I was just like, I feel like we should have drawn this out in some way, like I don't care what way you do it narratively. Just she should maybe struggle with this choice a little bit, and then maybe decide to. I don't know. But still, at least the plot is moving. The only thing is, the plot is moving because they only got 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes from here. They're starting to really go for it. I got to give it to them, man. These last fight scenes.
Yes, they've been. The second half of the season has been more entertaining. I will say that. Yeah. So with that said, I will say I have actually not wanted to fast forward through these episodes. Like I actually did to 2 of the Jupiter's Legacy episodes.
I didn't watch it.
I was like, all right, nah, we ain't doing this again. Skip. I was like, but with that said, guys, we have not exhausted all, but we've touched upon some of the demons. All right. Yeah. If you would, holler at us. We're going to holler at you down in them comments. Let's talk Black Lightning. We ain't got but 2 episodes left. We're going to see what happens. Penultimate is next. So we'll see where they go. Who knows what else they'll introduce since but 2 episodes left. Ah, man. The Shadow Board came out of nowhere. And I ain't gonna front, having Lala up there like Han Solo is kind of corny. I don't know. Every time I see him, at first I was like, oh, I get it. And then like after that, I was like, you know what? It's not as cool as I thought it was in the first place.
Okay. When you think about, we'll say this and then we'll go off, right? Not go off, but we'll be done for the night. When you think about the mindset of Tobias Whale,
all right,
Tobias might have, and I said this in the BOP podcast, was when he's having a rough day, he's gonna look at that statue and be like, you know what? My life isn't that bad.
Yeah, you know, it is a pick me up.
I defeated him. I defeated this. Like, okay, I'm gonna try my best to buy. I defeated this corny Negro, so I'm here. I'm good. Don't worry about it. It's like
good.
when you ever have like a motivational poster. You know what I'm saying? When you have a motivational poster that you need to just look up, that's his motivational poster.
Hang in there.
Just sit there, just be like, I've been dealing with this corny dude for almost 4 years now, and I finally defeated him. Yeah, I got it. Like that. Like when you think about the mindset of Tobias Whale, it makes complete sense.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll just touch upon this one more time. In these last 2 episodes, I think it was episode 10, we did get to see that horrible stained glass window with Tobias' sister in it. Didn't you look corny?
I wasn't gonna bring that up, bro.
I was not. Like, if they don't get her out that window. Look, I love all y'all. Look, we out. Shout out to Vulcan, Justin King. We had Silhouette Animator, Kevin Jones come through. Let's see. I know we had someone early, Andre Atkins. Thank you. And if I missed your name, it wasn't on purpose. Much love to all y'all. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna throw it right over here. You know him, man, myth, the legend. All right, top score. All right, on Pac-Man. Top score on Frogger, and top score in Battletoads, as well as Daytona USA at your local arcade. It's Clement Bryant.
No, and no. Don't make me do my Alan Rickman impression, man. Anyways, Twitter, Instagram, at Clement Bryant.
Oh boy.
Hit me up, y'all. We will talk. We gotta also talk about the next thing, and we gotta talk. We got the new series, Loki, starting 2 days earlier now. And Bad Batch. We gotta talk Bad Batch too, if you haven't been watching it.
Yeah, Bad Batch. I have thoughts. If you want to talk about, we can talk about that later. So, guys, of course, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. Hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit the thumbs down. Hit the bell too. Hit the red. Hit the bell. Hit the red. Hit the red. The subscribe. Yeah. Come here. Come here. Come on. You coming? You want to come through? You want to say hey? All right. Here we go. So anyway, guys, all y'all need to do, hit the thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Thumbs down if you don't, but you hit the thumbs down, you're gonna end up like Lala. All right. Do you want to be in the living room in dirt and clay? All right, you don't want to live that type of life. It's not good for you. All right. Just hit the thumbs up, share it to people. All right, do all that good stuff. We got podcasts if you want to listen, Spotify for music. So from us to you, we're saying what? We saying peace? Peace. Say peace. All right, give them a woo. Show them the woo. Anyway, y'all, we out. From us to you, we're going to leave y'all with some Arcatron. Yeah, Arcatron. And Y High Sign. And Parker Lewis. Yeah, all the episodes. All right, y'all. Peace. What up?